Dora the Explorer? I don't want to see Dora's. I was never missing Dora's Exploring. I was never missing Swiper Swiping. I was never missing the maps mapping. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Tunji's podcast. Tunji's podcast. Hey, Tunji's podcast. Hey, Tunji's podcast. Ah, shit, I lost it. Anyways, welcome, y'all. Welcome. That's a little beatbox for you guys. I have a word of encouragement for everybody. For everybody out there who feels like they said or did something really stupid today, and they're beating themselves up and they can't get over how stupid of a thing that they did. I have a word of encouragement for you. This is going to make you feel better, okay? This is gonna make you feel better. So after the success, right, of live action Hollywood remakes of classic stories like The Avengers, The Lion King, Aladdin, those movies brought in a whole bunch of money, right? Somebody in Hollywood decided that it would be a good idea to spend $50 million on a live action remake of Dora the Explorer. At least you're smarter than that person. You know what I'm saying? At least you're smarter. Like, if you had $50 million, you would make a better decision with your money. Who the hell wants to see a damn live action remake of Dora the Explorer? I don't want to see Dora's. I was never missing Dora's Exploring. I was never missing Swiper Swiping. I was never missing the maps mapping. Or Boots' monkey ass? Come on, y'all. Come on, Hollywood. Like, this is going too far. Dora the Explorer? Who? I mean, I guess I get that you want to make movies that already have a built-in audience, but like nobody's like doing like throwback Dora the Explorer videos on the gram. Like, no, like what possessed? They're just trying everything at this point. Jesus. Sorry, y'all. I just had to get that one out. But is it like? I mean, y'all gotta be with me on this. But like, Dora the Come on, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think that we're ready for original movies. I just came from Once Upon a Time, Quentin Tarantino. That was an original movie. He was inspired by a bunch of things that had to do with old style Hollywood, but like he pulled from inspirations from a bunch of different movies and life experiences and made a piece. That's what art is. You draw inspiration from real life things or from other pieces of art. But like this whole like recreation stuff, man, at one point I was just like on board with it, but like it's just getting to be too much. It's just getting to be too much, man. They're gonna do Sesame Street, yes. Like they're gonna do Sesame Street next. At this point, goodness gracious. Anyways, I feel like I talk about movies a lot on this podcast. Maybe I need to move on to something else. No, but like movies are on my mind. I guess it's content, and video content is what I'm passionate about, so it makes sense. It's on my mind quite a bit, but oh man, holy, it's just getting insane out here, man. But no, there was something I wanted to talk about for real now that I'm done with that rant. I was just thinking about the fact that, one thing I want to challenge myself to do is to be more secure in my gift as a performer, and not thinking of my gift as a performer, my ability to entertain, my ability to make people happy, or to give people escapism. I'm not going to verify that ability based on what, other people around me think of me, right? So that was a pretty weird thing that I just said, but let me explain. When I was younger, later on I figured out that it was due to microaggression and racism, but at the time, like kids wouldn't hang out with me. Some kids would just like randomly say they hated me and stuff like that, right? And the only way I could get myself, this was in elementary school and middle school, by the way, like, so when I was really young. And so I would just like sort of take on the way they ignore, like when they would ignore me or when they would say they hated me, I took that on as my fault. I didn't see it as a them issue, I saw it as a me issue. Luckily, I had a very, very solid foundation at home, so I didn't hate myself. I just thought that other people didn't like me, and like, because there was like some inherent flaw in the way I was, right? The only way I could get a positive response from people like that, or I should say the way that I observed that people, sorry, English is very, very tough for me right now because I'm a little bit tired and my brain is all over the place, but let me try to get these words out. I would notice that the popular kids in my class were the funniest kids, right? The funny kids, the kids that made everybody laugh, right? And my motivation for becoming a funny guy, in my mind, was if I can become funny, if I can make people laugh, then that's how I'm going to get people to like me, basically, right? And I've carried that lie for basically my entire life, that people only like me if I'm entertaining them, or people only like me if I'm making them laugh, or people only like me if I'm encouraging them or giving them, so people only like me if I'm doing something for them, basically, right? And I kind of had the realization today that that is such a huge lie. And I really, really have to do two things. Number one, my gift is my gift, regardless of what my motivation for becoming better at it was. Like, I remember, being 5 years old and people being entertained by what I do on the stage, like when I tried out stand-up comedy, like, when I took it even just a little bit seriously, I was good at that. Improv, I was excellent at that. When I started doing content on social media, my page, was blowing up. When I created my first ever sketch show, people came out to see that. Like, my gift is my gift, regardless of my internal motivation for people to like me, and regardless of the fact that I think that that I needed to be the funniest person in the room to be noticed. What I have to realize was that I'm a funny person, or I'm an entertaining person. I'm an entertainer no matter what room I'm in, regardless of like the fact, but regardless of whether I'm like the funniest guy in the room or the 8th funniest person in the room or the last, like, it doesn't matter. Like, my gift is my gift, and it shines through. I have to believe that it's going to shine through in any area of life or any level that I'm on. Like, I have to now start believing that, and not believe that my gift is dependent on like who's around or what my particular environment is, right? But the second thing I had to do was just, I'm all over the place today. I'm sorry, guys. I'm really trying. My bad. I had like a good point too, and I don't know if I'm even making sense right now. I'm really trying to push through, because yesterday I was all tired and not making sense, and luckily Sade saved me yesterday with her little impression of me. That episode is doing really well right now, by the way, so hopefully y'all go check that out. But yeah, I'm going to try to formulate a sentence and try to get my point across. Okay, so because I took on people's like hatred towards me. And because I believe that in order to get people to like me, I had to be funny. I also had this belief that, you know, if I wasn't the funniest person in the room, that I would be ignored. And it would drive me particularly crazy especially when I was somebody who was working at comedy and somebody who was working to be, you know, like, you know, funny, you know, like the setups and like the characters and all that stuff. It would drive me crazy when somebody who didn't work on comedy like I did was having everybody rolling just because it was who they were, right? And that would drive me crazy because I would feel like that was taking away from me. I would feel like them being funny meant that there was no way anybody would notice me. That was the second thing I was going to try to say. Thank you very much, Brain, for getting there. And like that's what. And now I'm sort of realizing, and like I finally like realizing like how much of a lie that was, and people like me for me. You know, I have to really take that in and really sit in that truth. It's not a truth that I've existed in for a long enough time, but it's something that I'm going to start to really take in. Is like people like me for me. Like, for example, this podcast is just me, and for a while I could not understand why people were actually interested in watching or listening to this podcast, because it was literally just me. My brain literally could not conceptualize that people were actually interested enough in me to watch me talk for 10 minutes, right? And yeah, and like that just goes into another thing about my gift. Like when I'm in a performance setting, when I'm talking in front of a camera like this and being authentic and just talking about my perspective on different things and sharing things about my life, people are interested in hearing it. And that's not something that I was ever able really to grasp until like when I was just sort of like thinking about it when I was at work today. It's just like, oh man, like I don't have to be, you know, intentionally funny, or I don't have to try to be interesting. Like I am interesting and people are interested to get to know me. So yeah, that's just my thoughts on today. Thank you all for listening once again. Peace.